Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video I will be showing the making of this entrance set here for my client's new front door. So you can see here on the left hand side in the design, this is what I've been working on with my client for the last few weeks, making sure that we get all the colours in there and all the design that they want to see. I've had quite a few changes in this design over the last few weeks, so this is the final and the final mock-up, and we're looking forward to putting this one together. It's got some quite bold colours. We're going to go with some super bold colour choices, and I've took a bit of a guess on the actual final colour of the door being lilac. It's just something that I thought would look good. My client doesn't actually know what colour she's going to be painting the door at this stage. That will come further down the line. As you can see in the design here, all of the door panels, the 4 panels that are featured in the door, they all have these arches going on, and that has meant that the client sends across a wooden template that you can see here. So this is the template for the door panel, and I have 3 other panels for the little windows above, the 3 little windows above, and then I use those to draw around, as you can see here, to make sure that we make the windows the exact correct size that they need to be able to fit properly. So now I'm going to get straight into the glass cutting and show you some of the centre motif here, and cutting the amber glasses that I've used in this section. I have actually already cut a lot of the background glass. A lot of the background glass in this one, it's a clear textured glass, so with it being clear, it's not the best glass to show glass cutting of, really. You can't really see it very well on the camera, so I thought I'd pick out some coloured sections instead, a bit more interesting. And in this particular video I'm going to show you a little bit more glass cutting and a little bit more lead cutting than what I normally would, just to give you an idea of what goes into it. One of the big challenges with these project videos that I put out is it's really showing the amount of work that goes into sort of completing one of these projects. It's very difficult to get that across when all my videos are very short and quick, and everything seems to happen very, you know, there and then. In reality, there's many hours that goes into these projects before I even get started on the glass cutting and the leading together. Just the design time alone, these days and days worth of work. Granted, I am working on lots of different projects at once. I never just work on one project start to finish. I've got lots on the go, but still, each one of these projects, it takes weeks and weeks, really, in reality, of work. And to get that into the video, it's very difficult to be able to show it. But I do get lots of comments from people thinking that it looks easy, which I can appreciate. I probably do make it look easy, but I have been doing this for a very long time, and I've made thousands and thousands of windows over the years. So yeah, I have had a bit of experience, but they are very slow projects to put together in reality. So there you go, those are all the glass pieces cut now. That's all the pieces laid out on the bench now, like a jigsaw puzzle, ready for leading together. So you can see here, this lead came that I'm using to lead the window together. It's quite bendy, it's quite flexible. It depends on what type of lead it is to how flexible it is, and you'll use different lead cames in different areas of the window. Like for example, the thick straight lines on this particular window, I'll be using a thicker lead. I'll be using either a 5/16, or I think I'm using a little bit of 3/8 lead. 3/8, that's the face width of it, so I'm using 3/8 across the centre. I've got lots of 5/16 in the background, which is a little bit wider, and then on the bendy bits I'm using this narrow lead here. This is 1/4 inch. This is 1/4 inch face width, and that bends easier in these sort of super curvy shapes. And so here at the halfway point, I've kept this straight line running across the window. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fit an internal reinforcement bar. So there's a little steel bar you can see here, that little thin steel strip that will be fitted inside the lead came there, inside this piece of 3/8 lead. So it's a slightly wider lead, and it fits inside of it, and it just gives the window a little bit of stiffness, a little bit more stiffness. That's more so for moving it around before it's fitted. Once this particular window is fitted in place in the door, across that straight line across the middle, there'll be an external reinforcing bar. There'll be a chunky thick steel bar that runs across the window, and then I'll show at the end of the video here, when I finish leading it all together, I'll show fitting the little copper ties to the window. So I'll be fitting these little copper ties across that straight line, and those copper ties will hold the window and the steel bar. They'll hold it all together to give the window a super stiffness across the center of the panel. This is a very traditional way of adding strength and structure and a bit more stiffness to a door panel. You'll see it if you look at an old window in an old door in an old house or such. Just keep your eyes peeled, and you'll see these steel bars running across. Depending on where it's fitted and the size of the window, there'll be an external reinforcing bar running across the window in certain positions. Something to keep your eye out for when you're looking at old windows. One thing I will say whilst I'm watching this video back, it does seem like my workshop is deadly silent all the time, which isn't the case. It's just because of music copyright. When I'm doing any filming, I have to turn off any music that I've got in the background. Yeah, I don't normally work in silence, that's for sure. And once the window is all leaded together, I get my soldering iron out, which is this here. This is my traditional propane gas soldering iron, and I use it to solder all the joints on both sides of the window, and this holds all those glass pieces together. So that's the full set of windows all leaded together and soldered, and now we have to go through the cementing process. Now I've moved over to the cementing bench and give the window its trademark wiggle wiggle, just to show how loose all those glass pieces are and how flexible the window is before the cementing. And now I apply this here. This is the Lilac cement, and it's a nice wet mix, and I want it to be nice and runny because I'm going to use my brush here. I'm going to push it into all those gaps between the glass pieces and the lead cane. We're trying to fill that little gap that's in between each piece. And once this stuff hardens, this is where the window will get its strength from. So now a few days have passed. In reality, it's probably the beginning of the following week, and it's now time to start removing the excess dried cement. If I leave it for too long, the cement becomes really difficult to get off it, to remove the excess. So it's all about timing and when you start this process off. And then I use my vacuum cleaner and lots of different stiffnesses of brushes, so these hand brushes, different sort of shoe polish brushes and etc. to clean off the excess cement before applying this stuff here, this black paste. This is either black grape polish or black stove polish, and this is what gives the black the blackened finish, this gunmetal grey finish to the lead cane. Gives it that nice shiny finish. So as I mentioned earlier, there'll be a steel bar like this that's fitted across the window once it's fitted, and to hold the window against that bar I solder these little copper ties on. This is the little tie that we attach to the window, and these are soldered across the joints, and these are wrapped around that steel bar once the window's fitted, and it holds it tight against the bar and stops it from ever being able to move around. It keeps it super duper stiff. That's me soldering the ties on. And after that, the window will give its final little polish over these soldered joints, and then it'll be ready for collection. So there you go, that's the video for this project. I hope you enjoyed it. It is a little bit of a longer video than I'd normally put out, so let me know what you think to the length of it, whether you think it got a bit too boring. No, I could have made it longer again, but obviously there is a limit to people's patience. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.